The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you.
We in the dojo, ain't no days off. The way isn't training, you don't bleed in practice, you die in the field. Look, swinging the wood till my knuckles are bleeding. I don't need rest, it's the combat I'm needing. 10,000 hours, I'm locked in the zone. Carving my spirit right down to the bone. Stepping my radius, watch how I sever. I'm swinging this blade like I do this forever. Practice make lethal, the rest make me cold. I'm gripping the steel till my body gets old. You talking that talk, but you skipping the gym. I look at the weekend, I pity for him. Every single morning, I wake up and strike. You never seen discipline looking like. I empty my lungs and I swing out the chest. I treat every shadow like it is a test. The way is the practice is war. I leave all my enemies down on the floor. Rap at the right, yeah, we put in that pain. Don't talk about love, but the way is in training. Blood on the wood and the sweat on the mat. I'm drilling the bases, I'm leaving it flat. Rap at the right, yeah, we put in that pain. Don't talk about love, but the way is in training. Slide in the footwork, I pivot and pop. I'm built for the trenches, I never will stop. Look at the calluses covering my hands. I'm executing these tactical plans. You sleeping in late, I was up in the dark. Leaving the den in the wood and the bark. Slow down the tempo, I'm taking my time. Perfect the angle, I perfect the crime. 1,000 more cuts just to build up the muscle. You don't understand the extent of the hustle. Drilling the parry, I'm drilling the block. I'm beating the sun and I'm beating the clock. There ain't no secret, there ain't no hack. You step on the battlefield, you don't come back. Unless you put hours and hours of sweat. I am a consequence, I am a threat. Continue with practice, I never retreat. I'm dropping the opposition at my feet. Rap out the radio, we put in that pain. Don't talk about love, but the ways in training. Blood on the wood and the sweat on the mat. I'm drilling the bases, I'm leaving it flat. Rap out the radio, we put in that pain. Don't talk about love, but the ways in training. Slide in the footwork, I pivot and pop. I'm built for the trenches, I never will stop. No days off, no excuses. You skip a day, you slip away. Strike 1,000 times before the sun is up. My mind is heavy, but my blade is light. Drill it again. Yeah. Aggressive approach when I step in the ring. I swing with the force that a hurricane bring. Master the form till the form is a ghost. I'm doing the most when you're doing the least. I turn myself into tactical beast. The way is in training, it's etched in my brain. I'm walking through fire, I'm walking through rain. Ain't no arrival, it's only the grind. I'm leaving the rest of the rookies behind. Rap out the rail, yeah, we put in that pain. Don't talk about luck, but the way is in training. Blood on the wood and the sweat on the mat. I'm drilling the bases, I'm leaving it flat. Rap out the rail, yeah, we put in that pain. Don't talk about luck, but the way is in training. Slide in the footwork, I pivot and pop. I'm built for the trenches, I never will stop. Keep swinging, keep drilling. The ways of practice, yeah. Yeah. The ways of
Happy Sunday, everybody. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you are having a phenomenal weekend as it comes to an end. I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are Engineer Twin. Today on our docket, on our agenda, we are going to be working on the speech coaching app. We do not miss, we stay consistent. We're going to be finalizing up the branding, making sure that our splash page looks good, all of that good stuff. And then we're going to push it to Google Play, and we're going to start some iOS testing as well, some on the iPhone emulators, see how that works, making sure that it's working, it's functional there as well. During our break times, we're going to be talking about NVIDIA. We're going to be talking about our company's hiring back software developers silently, and we're going to be talking about White Castle as well. Yes, you know, those little tiny little burgers that people love. Harold and Kumar drove across the world to get those White Castle burgers. They met, what is the name of Doogie Howser? What was the name? What's the real name of Doogie Howser? But they met Doogie Howser along the way. Wild movie. We're going to be talking about White Castle burgers as well. But before we do any of that, before we even get into any housekeeping, we have to see this real quick. In China, in Beijing, China, they had a humanoid robot run a half marathon. So we're gonna kick off the show with a little quick icebreaker before we do anything else. A little bit of icebreaker. In Beijing, Run E-Town Run. They call the humanoid robot E-Town. Run E-Town Run. We're going to watch what happened because I was shocked. I was appalled by this. And I think this humanoid robot also won. I can't believe it. Let's tackle that really quick. A little bit of an icebreaker. Then I'll go get into a little bit of a housekeeping. So let's get to it. This they call E-Town, I believe. And E-Town participated in a half marathon over the weekend, I guess. Did you guys see that? This isn't right. Imagine if you've been training for a 5K or a half marathon or a full marathon, and then you see your competition is E-Town over here, and E-Town just shows up and he steals the show and is like, "Oh, look at you, slowpokes! Get you, slowpokes!" And he's running on metal. Wow, we've been training for our 5K, for our half marathon all this time. They even give E-Town his own lane to run this half marathon. Where they do that at? And then the other day, I saw humanoid robots taking jump shots. Yes, they were. I think it was Toyota. Let me see. Where's my React app? Where is my React app? Do I still have that saved? I was like, what in the world is going on here? Do I have that? Let's see. I guess I don't have that one in particular. But yeah, I saw a humanoid robot. The thing is, though, he was kind of missing, though. I would expect the robot to be automatic from the 3, but he was missing. Oh, there it goes right there. Let me copy. We're gonna take a quick look at that as well for our icebreaker because you guys know I love me a humanoid robot, but when it comes to playing basketball and stuff, let's see. Block. It takes too long to shoot. Block party. Trash. And he's traveling. No, he isn't. I'm not with it. I am not with it. He took 2 shots, made 1 miss. And then the first shot that he took, it took him like 2 years to take the shot. Block party. We're not having that. We're not having that. See, they might be able to run a half marathon and beat everybody, but they cannot play basketball. They're not agile enough. They're not fast enough. He took 2 years to take the jump shot. The other one he missed. And then he's trying to cheer on the crowd. Nope, that's not happening. Let me know your thoughts, though. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about the what do you call them? About the marathon running humanoid robot, or the basketball humanoid robot? Do you think that they should be allowed to run half marathons? And do you think that the humanoid robots stand a chance on the court with us? They stand a chance. Is it going to be a block party, or are they going to be shooting from half court? Who's going to be the Steph Curry of humanoid robots? Let me know. Drop me a comment. Share your thoughts. I am curious to know what you think, but I am not. I repeat, I am not going for this. All right. With that being said, that's our icebreaker for today. Let's get to it. Let me take care of a little bit of housekeeping. Then we're going to jump into our first break time, work, break, all that good stuff. So first and foremost, thank you to every, let me get this back over here. So first and foremost, thank you to everyone who is subscribing to the channel, helping us grow, allowing me to add value to you. If there's anything that you want me to cover, let me know and I'll do it. I will do it. I love to explore. I love to see what's the new technology out there, how people are using it, all that good stuff. So that is what we do here. We are here to win. We are here to engineer. We are engineered to win. So shout out to everybody who has subscribed to the channel, new and old, who show up and who allows me to add value to your life. We are the absolute best. And shout out to all my tech barbarians. We had an amazing vibe coding chill yesterday afternoon. Oh my God. Yesterday what I showed on Vibe Coding Chill, I was talking to Rod Brown on Discord, and he asked me to share a link with him of a video that I reacted to the other day, and it hit me because I had that link, I had that video to react to stored in my reaction center that I made a video for the other day. And I was like, you know what would be a cool feature? If from the reaction command center, I could just share it with you from there, because I'm like, oh, you know what, you might like this. Let me just share it from you. And on the call, I was showing what we worked on the call, find some bugs, fix it right on the call, and then thought about some ideas. And I was even able to ask the people who gathered with us on the meetup, what do you think about this? Do you think this could be a defect? Do you think it could be this? We had some riveting conversations. It was absolutely amazing. This is the purpose of our live meetups, to have these conversations, to see how are you thinking? How do you see this? How do you see that? Here's what I'm building. All these, it was amazing. Junior was there. He will let you know himself. It was exciting. We're talking about AI testing. We're talking about different ideas and what Junior's working on for his photography app. I had a ball. It was very, very fun. So techcoach.dev. If you want to join us every other Saturday for our Vibe Coding Chills, join us over there. We also have our Scrum Nights that we're going to be having this coming Sunday. Amazing stuff. So shout out to all of my tech barbarians who work so hard day in and day out. There's none other like us. And shout out to my tech mercenaries, my YouTube channel members who keep this channel available to everyone across the world. This channel is available audibly in multiple different languages, trying to add value, trying to have everyone grow with us so that we can be mercenaries, barbarians, we can be engineered to win. So to every last one of you, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We are the very, very best. We the best. And as always, let's go out there and get it. Quick announcements. Tomorrow we have Candid Conversation. Dropping it at noon Eastern time. We are going to be live on Tuesday night as we continue to work on the Tech Barbarians coaching portal, the mobile app. We're pushing that forward. I think it's just about done. We're just, putting finishing touches, and we're going to test on iOS. So on Friday or last week, Tuesday, I think I pushed it to the App Store. I was able to see it in there. Minor quirks we need to make, minor changes. So then Wednesday is going to be software explorations, concept and overviews. I'm thinking about doing it on Google's Gemma, their open source private their open source models that you can customize. I'm thinking about doing it on that. Thursday back live again, and then Friday the bug bite. We're going to be talking about a link that Magnetar sent me about the win results being they might have paid a ransom. They might have paid a ransom. So we're going to be investigating all of that this week. Come and join the fun. Oh, by the way, I just remembered. I should be on Talk That Tech tomorrow. I spoke to Joseph. He's not going to be able to make it, so I should be hosting it with Trey tomorrow morning, 7 Eastern time. I haven't gotten confirmation yet, but most likely I will be there tomorrow morning, hosting the show with them. So check us out over there, Talk That Tech channel on YouTube. All right. But that's everything. That is everything. Let me check the chat real quick, and then we will get into our first topic, which is about NVIDIA. Did they turn their backs? Yes. Did they turn their backs on gamers? That is coming up after the chat, saying hello to my friends who are here, alive and active. My guy Junior says, what's up? What's up? What's up, family?
What's up? What's up?
What up, Junior? How are you doing? Did you enjoy yourself yesterday at Vibe Coding Show? We had some amazing conversation. I'm telling you, I look forward to Vibe Coding Show because just to know what Junior is cooking up on his photography website. He's also working on a new app that he hasn't disclosed to me about what it is yet. So I can't wait for when he's ready to talk about that. But we just have some great conversations, AI testing, business analysis discussion. I'm going to be bringing on a real business analyst onto who's going to share like what her day-to-day life is. I know this person in real life. It's just so many good things that are happening over there. So, but yeah, Junior was there. We had a great time cooking it up. I'm just saying. And it says they are ready to change the game. Talking about the humanoid robots, right? Running in these half marathons, and they are playing basketball. I'm like, all right, so here's a question about that though, about these humanoid robots playing basketball and everything like that. The question is, are they trained, or does it matter on the position they play, but are they trained to make the best? Are they more like a LeBron type humanoid robot who they're trained to make the best possible play? So even if they're like, it says, what is my percentage of making this shot versus what is the percentage of if I pass it to this person in this particular spot? So let me pass it instead of shooting it, because that's like the LeBron type. Or are they like the Kobe and the Jordan type, where if you guys remember that B-Dot comedian, basketball comedian stuff, where they had the Kobe highlights where there'd be like 5 people on him and he'll do the pumping and all 5 jump and then he turns and he shoots it. Is it like the ball hogging humanoid robot basketball player? Or is it like the best possible play? Or can you program your humanoid robot to play the way that you want them to play? I don't know. Are there going to be 5-on-5 humanoid versus humanoid basketball games? That I'm curious about that. I am curious about that one. We shall see. But we are going to jump into our first topic of tonight before we actually get to work, because I'm gonna have to open up Android Studio and it might slow down the computer a little bit. So let's take care of this first topic, and then we're going to get into our first working segment of the night. All right. But first topic of the night, we have my friend. Well, he's not my friend, or maybe he is. I don't know, because I don't know. But my Spirit CEO, Jensen Huang. Gamers are coming after my guy.
How dare you?
Did Jensen Huang leave gamers high and dry due to the AI explosion? So NVIDIA, their rise to fame was from GPUs. And who loved GPUs, graphical processing unit? I think that's what the G is for, graphical or graphics processing units. It was gamers. Like the PC gamers. They absolutely adored NVIDIA because it made their games look absolutely amazing. But then the AI bros came around and says, you know what? Gamers who? Jensen, let's have a conversation, right? Gamers, your stock price for gamers is about $80. About $80. We have this AI thing happening over here. We need those GPUs. And now their stock price, it's out of this world. It got up to like $1,000 before they had a stock split. But now the gamers are sitting there like, but what about us? Isn't that a song? What about us? So let's jump into that.
For its first 30 years, NVIDIA wasn't a household name, unless you were a gamer. But now, some of its original fans feel left behind as the memory shortage pushes the world's most valuable company to prioritize its massively profitable AI chips over gaming GPUs.
I understand that they're going to chase that, and that breaks my heart. Dance with the one who brought you, gamers that brought you this far.
Nearly all of NVIDIA's revenue now comes from its AI accelerators like Blackwell and Rubin rather than gaming. Analysts say 2026 could be the first year in 3 decades that NVIDIA doesn't release a new generation of its GeForce gaming GPUs for PCs, although NVIDIA wouldn't comment. NVIDIA did tell CNBC that gamers are hugely important, that it's still shipping all GeForce GPUs as it sees strong demand, and that it's working closely with suppliers to maximize memory availability.
Regardless of what NVIDIA may be thinking about, I would say investors don't care all that much about it anymore.
When NVIDIA released its first GPU in 1999, it laid off the majority of workers and came close to bankruptcy to make it happen. Gamers snapped up the new type of processor, bringing NVIDIA back from the brink. NVIDIA also offers an industry-leading streaming platform called GeForce Now and innovative AI-powered rendering software called DLSS that's made gaming more accessible for those who can't get their hands on one of NVIDIA's latest RTX PC cards that run upwards of $2,000.
I remember I was hanging out with my cousin a few years ago, and I think he was able to get a GPU, right? And someone paid him a hefty amount to buy it from him because they were impossible to find at that time. Because you have to remember, right before the AI boom, it was the crypto boom. So people were crypto mining, and they needed these strong computers, these strong GPUs, all this type of stuff in order so that they can be mining the crypto. And then the AI boom came around, and it got even worse for the gamers. And now this really affects the PC gamers, not really the Xbox, not really the PlayStation, whatever other platforms there are. It doesn't really affect them, right? PlayStation and Xbox, they're gonna do what they do. But for the PC gamers, they used to rely on these GPUs, and then it's like NVIDIA turned their back on them. Like, who you? But we were the first. Yeah, you were. But you know, sometimes whoever's your first, they're not gonna. Whoever got you started, sometimes they're not going to take you to the destination, right? It's kind of like. It is kind of like Moses. Moses led the children of Israel to the promised land, but all he could do was look at them. He could only look at them. He could not cross into the promised land. He had to have Joshua take them over because what? He was disobedient. He couldn't take them to the other side. And that's the same way the gamers, they might have saved NVIDIA. But now, AI, crypto, they have crowned NVIDIA as the kings. They've crowned NVIDIA as the kings. You might hear Google's like, oh, but you know, our TPUs and my guy Jensen Huang is like,
so that was cute.
He's like, oh, that's so cute. Your little TPUs. I hear you, and now the gamers are like, but can we get a GPU this year? Can we get a GPU this year? And it's like, let me see if I can fit you into. Nah, sorry. Maybe 2028 will get you. Maybe 2028, but just we'll produce a little bit more of the ones that we've been using, but. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
But during NVIDIA's GTC conference in March, CEO Jensen Huang caused an uproar among gamers after he unveiled the new DLSS 5 coming in the fall that uses generative AI to change the look of the game.
We call it neural rendering, the fusion of 3D graphics and artificial intelligence. This is DLSS 5. Isn't that incredible?
To add this generative AI stuff, it feels like a slap in the face.
Ooh, I was about to ask, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And Tim Geddes, he says that, you know what?
How dare you?
He's not with it. He is not with it at all.
You're literally altering the art created by the developers, and then at a certain point, you're replacing the developers, and then their studio gets closed down.
Facing a post-pandemic slowdown, the gaming industry has seen recent studio closures, canceled games, and thousands of job cuts across giants like Epic Games, Microsoft's Xbox, and Sony's PlayStation. But will the DLSS 5 controversy be enough to send gamers shopping elsewhere? AMD is NVIDIA's top competitor in gaming with its Radeon line of GPUs.
If you're playing on PC, you're going to want an NVIDIA card. Yes, AMD competes. They have the Radeon series. There's nothing to shake a stick at. Like it's really, really good stuff. But it's like, there's a clear winner. There's a clear favorite, is my point.
Industry reports suggest NVIDIA's made plans to reduce production of its latest gaming GPUs by up to 40% as it grapples with the DRAM shortage. And Gartner predicts PC prices will rise by 17% this year.
That is... It was good while it lasted. It was good while it lasted. Gamers, because I know gamers, they are serious about their gaming. They like, if you guys ever remember, this is not gonna be good, especially to my gaming friends. But if you guys remember the South Park episode when they were playing World of Warcraft and what happened to them, that was such a mean depiction of gamers.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
It was wrong. It was wrong. But now NVIDIA, because I am not a gamer like that, right? I think the last video game I really played was Grand Theft Auto 4, Vice City. But I never was really a PC gamer. And now they're hurt because it's like, what are we gonna do without NVIDIA? Well, there is AMD, but the guy just said AMD, like they're not really up to par. Is there going to be another company to step up in the place of NVIDIA to take care of the gamers, or is it just not worth it? I didn't think about the controversy of them using like the AI to render to make the game art look better. But they're like, no, we don't want the game art to look better. We want it to look like the developer intended it to look, or the graphic designer, whatever, whoever does the game art intended it to look. So don't mess with our game art. And I'm like, it's a fair point. It is a fair point. I don't know what to tell you. Well, it's been real. It has been real. It's been real to the gamers. I am sorry that NVIDIA, they chose the shareholders and AI over you guys. And I hope you get your get back, but I am still rocking and riding with my Spirit CEO, Jensen Huang, because when they weren't part of this AI boom, my NVIDIA stocks, they were humble. They were humble. And then I woke up one day and they were, when I was like, you know what? Sorry, gamers, but I want my money.
More money.
That's how I see it. Sorry, not sorry. Kind of sorry, but not really. All right. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. Are you a gamer, and are you upset that NVIDIA has turned their back on you, not even creating a GPU for this year, maybe not next year either? Are you upset by it, or do you understand, and are you pivoting? Or you're like, you know what? I will never, ever, ever support Jensen Huang and NVIDIA ever again.
How dare you?
Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I am eager to keep the conversation going. Also, do me a favor, if you haven't done so already, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live, and drop new content as well. Technical the Dev, we can meet up and we can keep this conversation going. Agree, disagree, share your thoughts. Let's have the meetup. Let's have the conversation. All right. Okay. We are going to check the chat really quick, and then we're going to jump into our first working. You know what? Let me open up this software because I know it's probably going to slow down the stream just a little bit. So I'd rather do it now. And then we're going to jump into the chat. Try to keep it. Okay. And let's go to that. All right, cool. All right, let's go to the chat real quick and we will jump into work right after that. So far, so good. All right, cool. Let's go to boom. All right. Junior says, I love these fast processors. Works well for video editing and 3D printing softwares. Junior is also a big 3D printer. Do you do it a lot? I was about to say you're a big 3D printer, but it's like I kind of remember you might have had. Yeah, you do. You don't you have a channel about 3D printing, or is that on your main name channel? Because I remember the way that I reconnected with you. It's like, you know what? I'm having some trouble with 3D printing, and I reached out to you on like IG, and you're like, oh, check this out. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So I kind of remember. So I do kind of remember you from like working on some 3D printing stuff. He says it was good while it lasted. And Moses did not enter the kingdom because he was disobedient. Yep, God said, strike the rock one time, and Moses was pissed off at those. He was pissed off at those stiff-necked children. All right, that's probably not the right soundbite. Bruh. So he struck the rock 2 times, and God said, "Ooh. Well, Moses, I know we homies and all. I know we're homies and all, but it ain't gonna happen for you. It ain't gonna happen."
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I know that's not the King James version. That is the Ralph translation version, TechnoDrop translation, available here at technodraft.dev. So it is what it is. It says, how much faster does the processing really need to be? I mean, Junior, to be fair, Junior, that's like asking how much faster does that BMW really need to go, right? How much more horsepower? It's like asking Tim the Toolman Taylor, how much louder does his hot rod need to be? You don't ask these questions, Junior. As fast as it can be. I mean, in Fast and Furious, they made the car fly, right? Didn't they have flying cars in Fast and Furious? They went to outer space. Remember Tyrese and Ludacris out there in outer space in their Back to the Future car? I don't know how they survived, but somehow they did. So, how much faster? As fast as it can go. As fast. That's how I see it. We got my guy Rod Brown in the building. What up, Rod Brown? How are you doing on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon? Rod Brown, yesterday at a Vibe Code and Chill, I was sharing how at 1:19-ish, you asked me to share the video with you. And I said, hey, you know what? I can turn this into an app. And by 1:29, I had the prompt and I put it into the application. And by 2-ish, I was sharing the new feature at Vibe Code and Chill. And we even customized it a little bit more. We spoke about, is this a defect? Is this not a defect? All these different things. All due to my guy, Rod Brown. He asked a question, asking a simple question. Can you share this link with me? It led to a whole new feature in the app. Shout out to my guy, Rod Brown. He says, I print 3D guns. Oh, that's what it was. By the way, Rod Brown did say salute to everyone on this beautiful Sunday. And it is a beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon indeed. Let me see. It says he was supposed to speak to the Rock the first time he was supposed to strike. There you go. See? There you go. I see. My translation is terrible. All right. So I would not recommend anyone look at my translation. All right. And just for the BMW, we need more. We need more. See? It's never enough. It is never enough. It says, well, at least he wasn't up to 3 o'clock in the morning. Thank you. Because if you don't know, the way that the YouTube video sharing OBS plugin came about, because Rod Brown sent me a message at 11:54 saying, "Oh, I did this to try to fix it," and then I was like, "Oh, I turned it into an app," and now I was up to like 4 o'clock in the morning. Shout out to my guy Rod Brown. Bruh. At least you asked at a viable time on a Saturday early in the day. I was like, "Oh, boom, there you go." When you get a chance, Rod Brown, log into the app, see if you see the shared video with you, so you can know, like, so you can do all that stuff that you do in there, right? But shout out to my guys. All right. We are going to jump into, why do I look so low? We're gonna jump into work today. Let's go ahead and get rid of that, and we're gonna go over to put this up over here. So we're going to start, that's a big icon, I'll tell you that. But we're going to start working on the branding. So finish up the branding, deploying to Google, and then we're going to start getting into Apple. That's our game plan for today. Let's go ahead and put up our first 20 minutes.
It's time to do.
We're going to go over to here, and let's go like that. So I'm going to start the app, because we know that the app is working. We've tested it on the actual mobile device. We were working on the branding. Something I'm not too fond of on the branding is on the splash page. The icon looks really, really small. I don't like that. So we have to get that to be bigger, right? So let's go to here, and I'm gonna say play. By the way, here's a question for the chat. While we work on this, we can discuss it. We can discuss it during break. But did you see the Jay Uso and Cameron thing on It Is What It Is? Is that the name of their podcast? I thought that was the name, but it might be a different name. But on the It Is What It Is podcast with Mace and Cameron, where it's like he attacked Cameron. Do you think that was real, or do you think it was staged? I want to say that it was staged, but I'm not entirely sure. All right, so I didn't get to see how the splash page looked. Let me try that again. Let me move this over here. Let's go. Okay, so this is the icon that we're using. So no, that's for Tech Barbarians. So we see. I don't like how the white is around it over here, right? The name of the app is good, but I don't like how the white is around it. So we have to fix that. But I want to see if how if the splash page shows. See how small it is? This page looks good. I like, I think you should also have the name of the app somewhere on there. So, all right, let's go and pull up our prompt. And I am going to say, on the splash page, when the app is loading, the icon is really small, while on other apps that I've built, the icon is really big. Can we get it to show bigger on the splash page? Also, on the login page, can we show the name of the app? Speak Precisely AI under the icon. That's what I want. That's what I want. So it's gonna add, so it's adding the name of the app. Hopefully it adds it in a way that looks good. It fits in very well. Successful. Okay. All right. So it's making the changes. Let me hide this. Login page.dart. And now it is going to look at the icon. It's pretty big. Crop icon.py. Let's see what it's using as well. So it's using a Python script to to do it. Something that I'm also thinking, are we able to change the splash screen's background color to use the same background color as the login page, or does it have to stay white? Let's see what it's doing. Cat. It's trying to do something with Python, but it's like acting weird. It might need a Vim environment possibly, because it's trying to install this Willow thing. Let's see. All right, so now it's trying to activate the Flutter native splash. Maybe that's what's going to control the look and feel of it. Let me see. Well, I'm gonna do a search for what does Flutter native splash do? Because part of it is controlled by the phone operating system, and part of it is controlled by Flutter. So it says a Flutter native splash package is a development tool that automatically generates native code to customize the initial loading screen of a Flutter application. All right, so let's see. I just don't want it to, like, cause so what happened on the Tech Barbarians coaching portal app is that you went first to the native splash and then it went into a custom splash, but I don't want it to do that. All right. I want it to just be the native splash and then the login, right? All right, so this says that task completed. I completed both the requested changes, increased the size of the icon on the splash page by regenerating the native splash screens using the fully cropped icon, which removes any excessive white borders and makes the logo fill the available space naturally on both Android and iOS. Updated the login page to display speak precisely below the icon in a bold font matching your system's app theme. All right, so let's stop it. Let's start it again. I gotta do something about this icon too. It still looked the same. At least it has this here now. This is good. We will want to set up the Patreon login as well, because Patreon users should be able to access it without any issue. But yeah, it's still small though when starting it up. See, let's say when starting the app, the splash page still has a really small icon, either the same size as the one that shows up on the login page, might be slightly smaller, but would like the icon on the splash page to take most of the screen. Let me see if over here it's been fixed though. No, it still looks all right. So let's send this. So let's see. I don't know what this crop icon thing keeps doing. Remove white border, app icon. I thought we didn't have the white border already. Maybe if I feed it one that I already removed the white border. I might try that. I might try to remove the white border myself and then pass it in. Let's see what happens. I've now, apologies for the confusion. Previously, my attempt to crop the image failed silently because Python library pillow was missing, so the uncropped image with all the extra white space was still being used for the splash screen. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go and run that again then. Let's say when trying to run the app again, we got this error. Something that happened the other day too was on the emulator, I was out of space. So I might at some point have to add some space to the emulator. Let's see. Come on. Come on, Keto Code. You cannot keep doing this. This is, they gotta fix it. This is such a bad user experience. Every single time. Okay, so there you experience during the hot restart is because we modified native resources on a hot restart. I didn't do a hot restart though. You cannot, okay, so whatever. Let's go ahead and stop. Start. Let's see what happens. Okay. It's still small. What are you? All right, I'm gonna. Oh my God! Oh God. All right, I'm gonna do it myself. Let me go here. Unreal, unbelievable. Just can't hire good help nowadays. You cannot hire good. Even with AI, you can't hire good help nowadays. Unbelievable. Totally, like it messed it up even worse. Like it was perfect before. You were so perfect, and then. All right, where is my image editor? Where's my image editor? Oh, I think I use it. I think I opened the wrong software. All right, let's go to file open. All right, so but you have the right image though. Why are you using? So this is the one that. All right, so let's say I don't even need to open this software then. So you have the right image here. I'm going to say copy path. I'm going to say this image already has the white background removed. It should be used for setting the app icon everywhere. So we shouldn't need the white background removal. Oops. I guess I'll just do copy reference path. Please use that to set it as the splash image. at its appropriate size. The app icon that shows up in the app list, and the app icon that shows up, the app icon that shows up on the login page, and make it bigger. Let's put that path. Oh, we already have that path. All right, so we have that. We send that off. God, here we go again. I don't know why it does that. Let's see if I go here. It's so annoying. Let's go here. God, I can't get it. I cannot get it. I don't know why it does this. Ooh, it's so annoying. Let me close that. Open that back up. I still can't get there. Oh, all right. I'm gonna have to send these people a message because this tool is not working the right way. Okay, so there we go. Let's do here. So we can click on, you can click on these little things to be taken to somewhere directly. All right, so let's do the native splash again. Launch icons. Okay. Icons with alpha channels are not allowed in the App Store. Set remove alpha to remove it. Overwrite default iOS launcher icon with new icon, no platform provided. All right, I have completed all your requests using the original app icon.png without any cropping. Splash screen I've generated, and native splash screens are using exact app icon.png provided. App list icon, I've run the Flutter launch icon generation tool to use the same app icon. Login page from 120 to 250. Remember to completely stop the app and rebuild it. All right, so completely stop the app. Rebuild. It's still small. I mean, this is good. I like this. This is bigger. Let me see this one though. This one's still, ugh. Why are you like that? All right, let's go to Gemini because I don't know what's going on here. On an Android device or on the speech coaching app, I'm trying to have the splash page icon display bigger. Display bigger. The main file is 1769 by 1769 pixels. But on the splash page, it is very small. How can we make this icon bigger? Let's go with that. You scale up the icon on your splash page. Depends on the framework you're using to handle the. Since you're targeting mobile and web, you're likely dealing. Nope, we are using the speech coaching app is used. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to go over here. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna add everything to the repo. Git add dot git commit m updates to the app for processing and branding. Push that up. And we have that. And all right, so when we get back, we'll take this GitHub repo, put it into Gemini so we can know the context and we can find out how to get the splash page to be bigger, all right? But being that Rod Brown is here, we do have to go, as Tupac said, we gotta go. It's checkout time because he will start hounding me because I have not drowned yet. So we shall go to break, and let's go ahead and see what we got going on. Let's check the break really quick, and let's check the chat really quick, and then we're going to get to our next topic, which is going to be about White Castle. White Castle tech coach Ralph goes to White Castle. I did go to White Castle one time though, when I was in New York, I believe. So let's see what's going on. Rod Brown says that the Plankon face in the background got me laughing. Did your son make it? Yes. This one right here. Yes, he did make it. Because if he didn't make it, then it would not be in my background whatsoever. But yeah, he made it probably at the library or something like that. But yes, he did make it. Barbara says that it was staged. What? I want to say yes, I agree, because everything in the WWE is staged and they can't just like go. But I'm telling you though, like Cameron, he be taking shots though. He be taking. I was cracking up when he's like, when he said when he's talking about how do you, Mace asked like, how do you compare yourself to like the people who came before you, and he said something about The Rock, and Cameron was like, and he's like, but like what happened to you? I was like, Cameron is so fresh, because I remember when Cameron kicked out the boxer, and Cameron, Cam is fresh. He is fresh. Says, I see you're getting better remembering the mute button. I have to like keep my finger on it, so as soon as I take a sip, I press it right back to unmute. That's the only way I can do it. That is the only way that I can do it. Says, you talking about the picture that says that? No, I think he's talking about the little stick figure thing over there, the little whatever they call it. Yep, this one. This thing right here. This one right here. Let me see. If you go back and look at, that's because I did go back, like that looks like a WWE punch, which is not a punch, right? It looks like a WWE punch, which is not a punch. That's what I was like. Yeah. But it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Cameron, he is so bad. Clearly was staged, but great promo for his show and WrestleMania. Rod Brown, beloved brother. I don't even know what to call you, but whatever. When he said that setup was so messed up. He's like, is it Saturday or Sunday? He's like, Saturday. And he says, I'm talking to the producer. Why you always bring us Saturday performers and not the Sun? I was like, oh my God. Why you gotta?
How dare you?
Said, well, you always bring us these Saturday performers and not these. I was like, wow. You did not have to do them like that. That was so messed up. It was wrong. It was messed up. It was messed up, right? All right. Let's go ahead and jump into the next topic of tonight, which is gonna be White Castle. You know those tiny little burgers? Just can't put them. You can't just have one. I know they sell the frozen ones at Walgreens or CVS or wherever, Publix and Walmart. It's not the same as the real ones. It is not the same as the real ones. So much so that Harold and Kumar, they drove across the country to get some. But now White Castle, they're using robotics. They're using robotics now to help them out. So let's jump into that one.
Welcome back. Fast food done even faster. White Castle unveiling its brand new Crave and Go vending machine across America, where you can get 4 of the famous sliders from White Castle in just a minute. These machines are rolling out across the country. You can get some hot and ready sliders at places like Boston's Logan Airport, Southwest Florida International Airport, in Fort Myers, even America's college campuses. And we've got one of them right here on set. Right before I went to the break, I hit in, I wanted 4 sliders, and look at this. Okay, here it comes. The food is ready. Now, let me see what this looks like here. Okay.
All right. I was not expecting this. This sounds terrible. This sounds... A vending machine that's going to be serving you hot food? How... I love robotics. I love the AI explosion, the AI revolution. Burgers, especially the classic White Castle burgers that are going to be coming out of the vending machine. That means they either have to be they have to be frozen, don't they? And then they have to in a minute they get them ready. Oh, I don't know.
Wow, this is hot.
Hot food, right?
This is hot. Okay, pull to open. Wow, amazing. Okay.
Look at the steam.
Look at this. It is smoking hot. Smoking hot. Yeah.
There we go. Look at the steam.
Look at this food. Hold on. I got to show. This is hot sliders from White Castle, which were just made. There's an oven in there. So let's talk about this. White Castle CMO, Chief Marketing Officer Jamie Richardson is here. Entrepreneur and inventor of the infomercial, Kevin Harrington, is here as well. We are joined by David. David, you are the inventor of this thing. Tell us about this machine.
Well, it's a robotic restaurant in a box. It's fully automated, no employees. You can literally have 24/7 great food out of a kiosk now.
Unbelievable. How does it work that there's an oven in there? Because this is not like your regular vending machine where I'm just going to go and put, a $1 in there and get a chocolate bar. This is something that's actually being cooked on the spot.
You can get fresh, hot food now almost anywhere, 24/7. And yes, it automatically heats everything. It stays refrigerated inside the kiosk. It heats and then it serves. It's instead of.
I will say though, if this existed 10, 15 years ago, there would be no movie for Harold and Kumar going to White Castle, and they would have never met Doogie Howser, child doctor, Doogie Howser, MD. They would have never met him. So I'm kind of thankful because I loved that movie. So I'm thankful that this did not exist back when they were in college, because they could have just went out their door to the vending machine and got one of those. So I'm kind of thankful that this did not exist.
Having Uber Eats, DoorDash, or Grubhub and take 45 minutes, and then you can now get your food in 45 seconds.
That's amazing. Now, Kevin Harrington, you invested in this. You saw the opportunity here.
I did.
There are, what, almost 1,000 of these machines already out there.
Right.
Tell us what you saw in this business.
So I spent a few years as a shark on Shark Tank, and I get thousands of pitches, okay? And people, they want to open a business, but if you're going to open a restaurant, it costs millions of dollars. Here's a restaurant in a box for a fraction of the cost, and you can operate one or two or a couple of them, but we're looking for entrepreneurs that actually want to be in business for themselves with White Castle, an iconic brand, to be selling these products in any locations, casinos, hospitals, schools, colleges, airports, like you said. It's awesome, and it's taken off.
So you want to get more investors to what? Buy this machine or lease this machine or what? I mean, if I'm a small business owner and I decide I want to get one of these and have my own business, how do I do it?
There's two ways. One, we actually I invested in a crowdfunding round that's open to the public, and that's one way they can get involved. The other way is they can actually buy a machine and operate the machine as a business. And, you know, entrepreneurship, I mean, let's put it this way. AI is destroying a lot of entry-level jobs. This is the kind of business that somebody that wanted an entry-level job can make really good money part-time.
That's unbelievable. Now, Jamie, you got to talk to us about White Castle. This is a
So I'm not gonna lie, I do like the idea, and it sounds like a great investment opportunity because regardless of how we feel, how it looks to us, people will always buy things that are convenient and might not be the best thing for them in the long run. So if they are going to, because I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, you know, but I don't want to contribute to, I'm like, hey, if McDonald's and Burger King and White Castle and Wendy's and all these other places, the chips companies and the soda companies, if they're going to be getting rich, if they're going to be supplying everyone, then people get all upset. How come we can't buy soda with our EBT cards anymore? Why can't we profit off of it too? I would not be against getting one of these machines, depending if everything was right, you know?
The brand that everybody loves. Who doesn't love White Castle burgers? What did you?
I do enjoy White Castle burgers. I don't know about getting them from a restaurant in a box type vending machine. That's my fear.
You think when these guys first came to you and said, look, we want to feature White Castle in these restaurants in a box?
Well, for White Castle, as a family-owned business, been around for 105 years, we've seen a lot of ideas over the years. And what we've learned is when you can be more places for more people, that's where the craving grows and goes. And that's how you attract new customers. So this didn't just look good on the chalkboard. It's working in the real world. So we just made a big commitment to go up to 5,000 kiosks that are actually just focused on White Castle and selling more sliders.
I know that these guys want these White Castle burgers. Let me bring this over to you so you can have a burger.
Hey.
How much revenue are we talking about? I mean, what are your expectations here?
I mean, listen, in the right locations, you can sell up to like $600 a day the kiosks are producing. So it's
$600 a day? That's not bad. $600 a day, 7 days a week, because it's always open. $4,200 a week, 4 weeks. It's like over $16,000 a month if you're making $600 a day, depending on the location. What if you put in like you put a vending machine, even a couple of vending machines in like a business area, business district. You know, people go down to the vending machine area. They order their White Castle in the box. I wonder if it's like, oh, because let's say you want to put in multiple orders, you put the name and then, okay, this John's order's ready, Jane's order's ready, and it just spits it out.
It's great for the ordinary consumer to be able to buy a kiosk, own their own business, and create their own destiny.
Kevin, what are the other options? In addition to White Castle, give us your sense of what else I might want cooked in a restaurant in a box.
So we're doing hopefully a deal with Jimmy Dean, breakfast sandwiches, and Wow Bao, and some of the other companies.
Wow Bao pot stickers. And
pot stickers.
We're working with the cake boss, Buddy Velastro, so he's working with us.
Wow, I got to tell you, I mean, like, I haven't seen a White Castle in a while. There used to be one around the block from my house in Brooklyn, but like, this is almost like saving business. This is saving brands.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, we're invested in new castles. We're in all 50 states in the retail section in the grocery store. But to have these kiosks available, it's an invitation for more people to satisfy their craving.
I got to tell you, Kenny Polcari's been asking questions all day. and during the commercial, we would not stop asking these guys questions.
I just had one. It reminds you right of White Castle, right? Yeah. Right out of the thing. I got to ask you a question. I don't know if I missed this.
Yeah.
How much does that cost if somebody's going to buy it, or how much if they're going to lease it?
It's somewhere around $20,000 to purchase the kiosk,
right?
And it's somewhere around $500 to $600 per month.
And so, if I want to purchase it, are you offering, like, if somebody wants to purchase it, are you offering a finance plan or no?
Yeah, we'll have the ability to finance it if somebody wants to finance
it. Well, it's a good question, because if I spent $20,000 on this, are you getting any recurring revenue from that, or is that just my business? Once I put that 20 grand down,
that's your money, that's your business.
Then I could put this. How?
So you're buying the kiosk for $20K, and then you just have to buy like the actual food that's gonna go in there for, like, let's say you're doing the White Castle one. But that Jim and Dean idea is for breakfast. That is wild. Because then you could have, like, let's say you have two of those, right? You could have a breakfast one, and then you could have because some people like to have breakfast in the afternoon. Maybe they want breakfast for lunch. They want to get some Jimmy Dean's. Although at the beginning, I'm like, this sounds like it doesn't. But the business side of it. Junior says truck stops. Rod Brown says local airports or business districts downtown. If it's cost 20 grand for one of these in a month, like it might take some time to pick up, right? But you'll get your money back like pretty quickly.
How significant is the maintenance of that? What do I need to do to maintain this?
Very easy. There's 64 items that go in there, and it's really easy to load. You're in and out of the kiosk in 5 minutes. So very easy.
I mean, your experience on the Shark Tank, exposed you to so many businesses, Kevin.
Yes.
How does this compare to what you experienced on the Shark Tank?
Somebody comes on Shark Tank, they want to own a restaurant, but it's a $2 million investment. And what happens if sales are a little slow? They're sunk, right? With this machine, for 20 grand, you own a restaurant, and let's say the location you're in is great for a while, and then it slows down, move it to another location.
Wow.
Okay?
So, I mean, if I want, like in the summertime, maybe I want to put this at the beach.
Exactly.
Right? And then in college, during school, Cheryl, if you want college bars is another great idea. So what kind of reception have you seen?
Fantastic.
What are you hearing from business?
Right here. They taste just like they came off the grill, by the way.
It tastes just like you're at a White Castle.
I have to say, it's right out at White Castle. I could ask you a question. If I bought that, where do I get the food to stack it? I have to keep the food?
Actually, it works just out of the same boxes that White Castle provides in retail. So it works.
But they deliver it to my house. What I mean is I have to keep the inventory at my house?
You don't have to keep it there. You can keep it at your house. You can keep a freezer chest next to the cooler, so you can really set up your own business.
And is that additional on top of the $20,000? This $20,000 is just for the machine, but then my maintenance fees are, buying the
just
things.
Buying the goods, right? But your margins are really good, and you're setting your price depending on the venue that you select.
And who selects the location, me or you?
You get to select the venue location. And again, think about it. It's hospitals.
Let me ask you a question, Kevin. In terms of going forward and this business, what are you expecting in terms of the growth of this business now that you're a major investor?
Yes, well, this is we've got 1,000 machines just about right now, but we've just signed a deal for 5,000 total White Castle machines. And of course, we have other brands, other iconic brands, like Jimmy Dean sausage sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches, right? So this is going to grow. I mean, this is 10 years. We've raised over $70 million for this venture, okay? So that's a lot of capital, and we're going to be building a huge business out of this.
That is fantastic. Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you so much for bringing this bad
My
boy
pleasure.
here today. And we are so happy for you all. That's Kevin Harrington, David.
That is wild. Like, no, the innovation, the idea behind it is incredible. I still don't know. I still don't know yet how I'd feel about the White Castle. I need more. We're gonna look it up real quick, but the White Castle burger in there, and basically they're saying like you just buy the frozen burgers, you put 64 at a time. So depending on how fast they sell, you just like, and even if you can't service it, let's say you have a day job and stuff like that, right? But you have someone, maybe your kid if they're old enough, you have a spouse or something, like and I would want to know, how is the inventory managed? You know, like, okay, when is it low? Okay, I have to go over here. So let's say you have like 5 of these machines. That's like $100,000 investment, and they're scattered at some popular spaces. So you would need to always be seeing like, okay, what is the movement? What is inventory, so that you can make the rounds to get them up, like to get the inventory restocked on a regular basis. But 64 is a pretty decent amount. One thing that you don't want to have is, you don't want to be one of those restaurants where they go to buy we're out of stock. You always have to keep the stock filled. So let's look at this real quick, right? Because this is impressive. This is impressive. Is the White Castle vending machine, which is popping up in places like airports, hospitals, and campus colleges, are essentially modern day automats. They are built in partnership with the automated smart kiosk company called Just Baked Automated Retail Technologies. Here is a breakdown of how they manage to store, heat, and dispense the hot sliders in under 2 minutes. So 2 minutes. Refrigeration and storage. Inside the machine is a high capacity, temperature controlled commercial freezer unit. The machine is stocked with the exact same White Castle frozen retail sliders you can buy in the grocery store. Typically the classic cheese or original or jalapeno sliders. Food safety. The kiosk operates under automated inventory storage that constantly monitors the internal temperature. If the temperature falls out of the safe zone, or if a batch of sliders passes its expiration date, the machine software automatically flags those items and prevents them from being sold. Okay, that's good. That is good. That's fair. That makes sense to me. Heating the mechanism, the magic. The biggest challenge with microwaving bread is that it usually turns rubbery or hard. The vending machine avoids this by mimicking the White Castle traditional cooking method, steam. Okay. You know what, Junior? I know what I said at the beginning, but I might be going. All right, I'm just saying. Rapid heating. When you place your order via the touchscreen, the internal robotic mechanism retrieves the frozen sliders and transfers them to a built-in rapid heating microwave unit. Custom steaming trays. The real secret isn't the microwave itself, but it's the packaging. The sliders are held in a custom designed tray, often utilizing specialized packaging and tech that traps most of the moisture as the food heats up. The result, instead of blasting the burger with dry heat, the tray forces the moisture to steam the sliders inside the box. This steams the buns so they come out pillowy and soft while heating the meat and melting the cheese evenly. Okay. The process, from the user's perspective, the process is incredibly fast. You tap your order and pay the digital touchscreen. The machine internally scans the QR code on the package to route it properly, grabs the frozen sliders and drops them into the heating chamber. The rapid heating steaming process takes about 60 to 90 seconds. The hot steam sliders are dispensed out in the slot in their box, ready to eat. It's essentially a giant robotic freezer microwave hybrid, but the custom steaming package is what elevates it above the standard gas station microwave burgers. That sounds incredible. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds incredible. Let me check. Let me see if there's a video explaining how how do the White Castle vending machines work. Let me see if there's a visual of that, because that sounds incredible. But I want to see. I would love to see. Let me see if they have something about that. Oh. No, that's not it. I just wanted to see if they had I wish they had from an owner's perspective, how they stock the vending machine. But let's take a look at this real quick. Let's see, can I get that? Let's go to copy link. Let's go to here. Let's go here. Let's take a look at this real quick. I just want to see someone actually using it.
This is the first ever White Castle vending machine, and today we're trying it out. I'm very excited. I've waited weeks to try this. Let's do it. So it's $8.50 for 2, $14 for 4 chicken sliders. Yep.
Wait, well, how much is it?
Out. I'm very excited. I've waited weeks to try this. Let's do it. So it's $8.50 for 2, $14 for 4 chicken.
That's kind of impressive. Oh, what? But if people are willing to pay $8 for 2 sliders and $14 for 4, that ain't bad.
Sliders. Yep. We're gonna get both. I can pack down a lot of food. And it's gonna come out fresh for the next 2 hours. It's wild. There is a California Pizza Kitchen one right next to it. Okay.
That's crazy.
Is this what it's like to be in Japan? I don't know.
That's wild.
Are these just the frozen ones you get in the grocery store? They come in a plastic sort of cellophane. Smell the onions. I mean, flavor-wise, subjectively, not bad. It does taste like a White Castle slider, but the bun looks kind of janky. Like it's got grayscale. It's a little off-putting. This has got to be the grocery store freezer aisle version. I was hoping for a little bit more. We're going in with an open mind, mostly. Same thing. That explains why they sell it in the 4-pack. They're like glued together. Cheers. That is definitely the frozen version. See, I'm a frozen food connoisseur. I used to live off of it. Flavor-wise, I'm kind of satisfied. But conceptually, they're like, this is the first White Castle in Massachusetts, technically. I don't know how much more it could be, but like, I could get this at the grocery store for less. Maybe it's the technology that's the important thing.
Yeah. This is interesting. I would definitely try it out. But it's not even about the White Castle itself. It's the opportunity of having all these different. It's like a revitalization of the vending machine business, because I still think vending machines are doing pretty well for the most part. But when you can get hot food into these vending machines and you can charge let me check something real quick. White Castle, Walmart. So if we take a look at Walmart, the 3 2-packs for $5.97, 6 count. And if the vending machine that he was buying it from was like $8.50 for 2, $6 for 3, so it's like you're paying $2, and so your margin's like $4. That's not bad. 16 count over here. This one is a variety pack for 16 at Walmart. It ain't bad. You go to Walmart. I don't know if they sell them at like BJ's or Costco or Restaurant Depot. You get a big batch, and then now you just go filling up your vending machines. I don't know. I might be going. What do you think about this? So the first question, leave me a comment. Would you buy a White Castle burger or burgers, mini burgers, from a vending machine? The other question is, would you see this as an investment opportunity? It doesn't necessarily have to be for White Castle burgers in particular, but an investment opportunity to sell hot food from a vending machine. They hold like 64 slots. So you'd have to continue refilling and stuff like that, just like you do a vending machine. I'm pretty sure they have a way to manage inventory via Wi-Fi. If there's a power loss, you're notified that it's offline, I guess. Maybe it has a backup battery for a certain amount of time. I don't know. Do you see this as a viable investment opportunity? Start with one. See, it's doing it makes itself back. You go and buy another one. Is this a good investment opportunity? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content, as well. Tech Coach of the Dev. Join us for our vibe coding shows. Join us for our Scrum Nights. Get access to resume flow so you can get your resume analyzed and see how it matches up to the job that you're interested in. Get access to the Tech Barbarians coaching portal so that you can keep track on everything you're doing, and then get access to the app that we're working on today, the Speak Precisely app, so that you can make sure you're speaking well, you're not going too fast, you're not saying too much, all of that good stuff, right? Over at techcoachralph.dev. All right, let's go back into the chat to see what are the thoughts, what are the sentiments of this. Let me see. So, and we also are out the same way. We also, so Robert's talking about camera on about he did. It was absolutely wild, all right? But I had the same sentiment. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about, but to be fair, I have eaten the White Castle burgers, the frozen ones. I bought them from Publix. I bought them from CVS, from Walgreens. I have eaten those. And I put them in the microwave. I am curious to know how the vending machine would do it. I would buy it. All right. Junior says it sounds like diarrhea waiting to happen. Robert says, get the royal toilet ready, please.
Are you ready?
It's fair. Look, we all watch it, and here's a pivot. We all started the same exact way. Then they said, hey, but you could buy one for yourself. And I was like, although we might not be, it might sound like a bad idea to us, there are plenty of people who would buy from our vending machines. So Rob Brown says, well, how much does one of these machines cost? And the guy's like, well, about 20K, or like 20K.
Message.
That might be a sound business opportunity. And he's like, they are going every single time, but Junior, that's one person I know for sure is not going. And something I was thinking about when they were talking, right? If you have these White Castle vending machines all over and people actually enjoy them, when they're driving in the areas that have a White Castle, they're like, oh, there goes a White Castle, let me stop in. So that might also be driving business to the actual main restaurant, like in-house places as well, you know? Just fun fact, I have never eaten from White Castle. A lot of people haven't because they're not all over the place. Some people might have eaten the frozen ones, but I was inspired to go to White Castle when I was in the New York area because of the movie Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. That was the only reason that I wanted to go to White Castle. Rob Brown says, I might invest in one. If this is in a great location, then it might have good business. The guy did say that you could make like $600 a day off vending machine. Do we even make $600 a day off our jobs? Maybe we do. No, I don't know. But imagine you have your day job and you have a vending machine like this. You just have to keep it stocked up. And guess what? You might be able to get away without, because let's say the main business hours are from like 8 to 5. So the question is, will 64 slots, unless you get 2, but will 64 slots last from 8 to 4, 8 to 5? So you don't have to go and refill it. But maybe you have somebody to go refill it for you. I don't know. Rob Brown says, man, listen, put this in your local airport or busy district downtown. Easy money.
More money.
And he says, don't forget the truck stops. Do not forget the truck stops. That's fair. That's fair. Rob Brown says, bruh, 20K? I might look this up for real. I'm telling you. He says, this is a great business idea. It would make a lot of money in the hood, but they might also destroy it. Not only destroy it, they're also going to steal it. Do you remember in, was it next? Well, not, it was Barbershop 2, I think. Barbershop 2, where they stole the ATM machine and they couldn't get it open, to only find out once they actually did get it open, there was nothing in there. And I saw an episode of Chicago PD the other day where they were stealing ATM machines, and people steal ATM machines. So imagine what they'll do to a vending machine. And a lot of times, like the traditional vending machines where there are glass screen where you can break them. It ain't right. It ain't right. I would definitely invest in something like this, just not to sell White Castle. Fair? That's fair, because if you can put whatever you want in there, you can have different slots. Maybe like based on what you have in there is programmable. I don't know. Sounds like a great idea. Says, I know you're about to go to your nearest airport to pick some. What?
How dare you?
What? How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
I am not, because I did not look up closest White Castle vending machines. I did not look that up. Right? I did not look that up. Okay. Nope. Southwest Florida International Airport in Fort Myers. I didn't look it up. The robotic restaurant in a box are expanding into airports and other high traffic areas, but not currently listed in the immediate Miami-Fort Lauderdale metro. I am going to Nebraska in a few months. Maybe they'll have it at one of those airports by that time. I don't know. I'm flying into Dallas. Let's see. Is White Castle vending machine in the airport? Let's see. Based on current reports, there's no. Oh, that sucks. Maybe by that time we'll have it. Maybe by that time we'll have it. But you know what? I can't believe you'd say such a thing.
How dare you?
But I might be going though. I might be going. They are paying for convenience. They sure are. And Rod Brown says he thinks as well. He is going.
Meep, meep.
All right. Let's get into enough fun and games, enough reveling over White Castle. What did I do? Let's jump into another working segment. We are trying to figure out why this thing is not the right size. I was going to say not as big as it should be. I didn't want to say pause, so I did not. But let's go ahead and jump into our next segment.
Let's go! Let's go!
So we were looking at Gemini over here. And all right, so what I was going to do, I pushed up the code. I am going to GitHub. Speak precisely. Mobile app? Is that the name of it? I guess so. All right, I'm going to go there. And I'm going to say import. All right, it's using Flutter framework to build for iOS and Android. I've attached the code base so you can review. Changing this to Pro, send that off. I don't know why it keeps on removing the code base. What if I change it to fast, if that'll take it? I think that happened last time as well. There might be something that makes it really big. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, so it's not accepting the code. It might be the repo. Maybe it's too big. I don't know. But all right, fine. All right, fine. So annoying. The app is using Flutter and building for iOS and for Android. How can we get the splash page icon to be bigger? I don't know. Let's see what happens. I don't see. Yeah, I know, because you won't accept the code base. If your 17 by 69 image is ping very small, it almost comes down to either the built-in image padding on Android 12 system restrictions, crop the transparent padding, but it is cropped, and scale the entire image file to fit the required dimensions. If your actual logo only takes up 500 and the rest is transparent, the iOS will shrink the whole thing, making your app logo look tiny. The fix open. All right, so let me see. Let's go over here and let's go to open in Finder. Yeah, so this is the size of the logo, and it looks good. Can I see it at its full size? Well, let me see, adjust size. Let's say we do pixels. Yeah, it looks fine. 1769 looks fine. So according to, if you're using Flutter native splash package, the most common way to handle the splash reading, if you open your pub spec and check the file settings, Android 12 introduced a mandatory splash screen API that forces the icon into a strict circular mask. Majority shrinks icons to maximize, ensure the crop image has no internal padding, correct? Provide the tightly cropped image just for Android 12 in your config. I can use the background color for the login page too. Let me see if I can say login background. Ooh, color. Color. Let's see if we do. So this is the icon. Where's the background of the page itself though? Maybe it's main. Dart. Is there a background color here? App theme, dark. Okay, so let's go to pub spec. Let's go to Flutter native. All right, so we got this. Assets splash. So assets icon PNG. What if we do image Android 12 and we say app icon.png? And why isn't it in the assets folder? This is in the assets icon. So if I was to copy so let me see what size this is though. Let me go to Find in Finder. And that's the same size, I believe. That's the same size, so it should work. Let me see. Let's make sure. Adjust size. Yeah, same. It's the same size, so that's correct. So let's close that. Let's close that. So let's say we do icon. Hold on, let's try this. So image. All right. So image assets icon. Let's do that. That is not something weird. All right. So Flutter launch icons assets icon. It's the same thing. So all right. Let's try to stop it again. Let's run it. I don't see why it's not showing bigger. Is it? I don't know. It feels like you should just take it. See, it's so small, and there's no padding around it. That's the thing I don't understand. All right, let me. If iOS is still, it's not even iOS. It's Android. Manual fix. If you're doing this manual on Android without a package, you will see an item tag in your. So here's what I want to do. Right. Here's what I want to do. I want to see if this is working. Right. So if we go to so I'm trying to find the background color of the, let's close everything out. Close other tabs, log in, .dart. There should be some type of background color for this page. Well, even without that, let's say I go here and I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, right? And I go to run that. The splash page should give me that background color of CCC, right? I just want to make sure that that plugin is actually working. Nope, it's not working. So that plugin is not working. Let's look for, so according to the documentation, let's look for here. There's a bunch of these though. And the drawable. Design editor is unavailable until next. What are you talking about next Gradle Sync? What are you talking? Go here. Okay, so let's make this like that, and it says background, and it says you will see an item tag containing your bitmap if it looks like this. You can scale it up by so we are cropped. Let me see this. Let's say we do fill on this one as well. There we go here. Ah, shoot. It's not. It's not picking it up. Let me try this thing in particular that they have here. Let's go to item. Let's see. Try that one. Ah, shoot, keep doing this. And if that doesn't work, I'm gonna change it to fill. I don't know. It's like it's missing something. Something isn't right. Something is there. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say in Gemini, even when I change the background color of the Flutter native splash and edit the launch background.xml, the splash icon is still small and the background color didn't change, and the app icon has a white border, although the image is fully cropped. Here is the image, or attached to the image is the image, and below is the pubspec.yaml file and the launch background.xml file. So I need to go here, drop that in there, and I need to say pubspec. And then this is the launch background.xml. Oh, I see exactly what the problem is. You need to do X, Y, and Z. All right. And I still can't find the background color of the login page. Oh, I think I found it. All right, see what this says. Looking at the image you uploaded in the configuration file, I can see exactly what's causing these three issues: the small splash icon, the background color not changing, and the white border on top. It all comes down to two things: how Android, iOS handles solid square images, and remembering to run the generator scripts. Here's step-by-step fix. Why the splash icon is small. The image you uploaded is a full square with a dark gradient background built into it. When you pass a solid square into Flutter Native, the operating system, especially Android 12, shrinks the entire square to corners. They don't get cut off. Because it shrinks the whole square, the microphone in the middle becomes tiny. You need a version of the logo with a transparent background. Extract just the microphone and the glowing rings and save it as a transparent PNG. Okay, why the background color didn't change, and your pub spec, which is a light gray. However, because your current icon.png is a giant square with a dark background, it's likely covering. What? You manually edit it. You should not manually edit on using Flutter Native, as the package handles the XML for you. Why the app icon has a white border. Android uses app icon circles scrolls. It only provides you a single flat image path. Android doesn't know how to fill the edges, so it shrinks your square and fills the empty space with a white background. You need to explicitly define adaptive icon background and adaptive icon foreground in your configuration. All right, so let's undo our changes to the launch background. Undo. Okay. So let's add these two lines. to the pub spec. And so that's under the launch icons. That's not the native. Okay. For the splash screen, and they said to, what did they say to do with the other one? Oops, that's not this one. For this one, for the image, they said that you need a version of the logo with a transparent. Just extract the microphone and the glowing ring and save your. That's what I have. Unless they don't want the. So they want it as a circle. You didn't set when you paste a solid square. When you pass a solid square to that, the operating system sees Android, so it shrinks the entire square so the corners don't get cut off. Because it shrinks the whole square, the microphone in the middle becomes tiny. You need a version of this logo with a transparent background, especially just the microphone and the glowing rings, and save it as a transparent PNG. I could swear that's what I have here, but all right, let's go ahead and try to do this. Let's try to edit this image. Let me go here. Let's go here, here. So here's what we have. It is a PNG, but we're going to try to do a circle. Why is it doing that? Did I do it from here? Make it a little bigger.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
So let's say we go like that. Let's say we do this. Yeah, let's go down a little bit. Why is it so sharp on that? So sharp on that circle. Let's try that again. Whatever. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. So if we say, so export PNG, actually, let's not do that. Let's do C crop. crop. And then we do canvas size. Let's do that. Canvas size. One 577. And then we do resize document. Ah, shoot, made a mistake. Oh no, let's do that. And let's do resize canvas. Not do that. 1577. Resize. There we go. And then we do the document, resize document. 1769. Boom. Now we do a export PNG. And we say export to here. Icon transparent. All right, so we have our icon available. We can close this down. Let's not save that. And we will say, so I'll put this prompt in, then we'll go to our last break. Kilo. Code. Attach. Add file. I don't see the file that I just added. Whatever. Let's go here, here. Copy this path, copy path. I just adjusted the icon to be used for the app icon in the app list and on the splash page to be this one. Can you make that update? All right, cool. And make sure it takes the full screen and the app icon and the splash page background matches the background of the login page and the rest of the app. Boom. All right. There we go. We are going to break. All right. Let me see what we got. Where's my? Oh my goodness. Stop the show. We got my guy Magnetar in the building. Hits me with the Sith Coach Ralph.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
What up, Magnetar? Shout out to Magnetar joining us for our vibe code and chill yesterday. And my guy Magnetar is working through the cybersecurity stuff that we were working on last year. He is leaving me comments on the videos like, oh, I did this and do it. And he's sending me some message on Discord. I'm like, shout out to my guy Magnetar putting in that work. And Magnetar says, I have never eaten at White Castle either.
Bruh.
The movie got me, right? It was the movie. The movie did it to me. The movie did it to me. All right. We're going to jump into our last topic of tonight, which is are companies quietly rehiring developers back after these quote unquote AI firings? I saw a video about it. I haven't watched it yet because I wanted to watch it with you, but I'm curious to know what exactly is going on. I'm going to pull it up. Let's jump into it.
By 2030, 90% of developers would be replaced by AI. Those were the experts' estimates a few years ago, but today, the reality is very different.
Gartner just said that 50% of companies who laid off workers because of AI will rehire for the exact same roles by 2027.
So far in 2026, software engineer hiring is skyrocketing.
It's true that it could wreak havoc, but I think it's much more likely to reshape jobs rather than to erase them altogether.
But this is not necessarily because companies are not using AI, but because AI makes so many mistakes when writing code that expert developers have to correct it 9 out of 10 times.
Tech giants like Microsoft and Google are outsourcing more and more coding to AI in a productivity push, but some new research shows the tools might not be as helpful as some expect.
This not only affects developers' productivity, but also companies' finances, since the increase in AI-generated junk code raises the workload.
Seasoned engineers were actually 19% slower when using AI tools. Instead of speeding these engineers up, the AI often gave them suggestions that looked helpful, but actually required time-consuming corrections.
All of this has made companies reconsider their decision to delegate code creation entirely to AI, because instead of reducing costs as previously thought, it is now increasing them. So, why are companies quietly rehiring software engineers? Over the past few years,
I'm going to answer that question first, and I'm going to see what the person who is narrating this video says. But I think that here's where everything went wrong. People were under the expectation that you did not need software engineers because you can just have the AI and then you can tell it to do something and it's just going to do it perfectly. However, what people are realizing is with the right, it's like you give a child a hammer and you say, all right, go fix this thing. And now you come home and there are holes everywhere, glass shattered because the kid just took the hammer and he just started like whack at everything. Just boom, 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 breaking everything. So, and this is what I learned from a very early stage of this AI stuff, right? Coding with AI, using tools like Lovable and stuff like that. You need to have a really, really good understanding of software development practices, of testing practices, because if you leave the keyword artificial intelligence to its own volition, it is going to go down these wild rabbit holes and make a bunch of mistakes. But that's why if tools are supposed to make you go faster, tools are not meant to replace people. So the reason that you'd have a manager who's managing a group of developers is because they are not the ones who are going into the fort, into like the intricate little details themselves. They are the ones who are communicating and they're like managing expectations and stuff like that. If you try to pass on the job of the software engineer, who is very ingrained in all the nitty gritty of the code, to the engineering manager who is not, then you're going to have trouble. So in my estimation, the mistake was getting, like, if companies already did that, right? If they actually did that to get rid of the top level engineers and just say, we're going to pass off this code to AI, that's where they went wrong. I don't personally think that's what actually happened. But also what might be happening is they might have got rid of the ones that they didn't want to get in the ones who are going to be adapting to this new technology. So they might have suffered a little bit to grow now.
The tech industry has repeatedly told us something that seemed inevitable. Companies like Google, Amazon, Meta, and many others have tirelessly repeated one phrase: artificial intelligence is going to replace workers, especially developers. Since early 2024, companies began reducing teams, freezing hiring, and betting on automatic code generation tools that promise to build complete software in seconds. It is
I honestly have not heard those companies say that. Maybe I wasn't looking. I've heard of Microsoft saying that. Somebody from Microsoft said that. I've heard the Anthropic CEO, the fearmonger in chief, say that. All of a sudden, oh my God, we can't release Mythos because that is so powerful, right? Heard him say that. I heard, I've heard the people who will profit off AI and their artificial and like off their models being purchased say that. But from what I see in reality, I don't see that happening.
Estimated that since 2024, companies have laid off around 124,000 software developers.
Amazon, Chegg, Microsoft, Meta, Salesforce, the list continues. Tech companies just are cutting tens of thousands of jobs.
The idea seems simple. Fewer developers, more automation, and higher profit margins for companies. However, what started as an apparently unstoppable revolution quickly began to show its limitations. News such as Amazon experiencing 4 critical errors in just 90 days due to AI-assisted code changes made the world realize that AI was not as promising as believed. Reality began to show that writing code is not the same as developing software, and that artificial intelligence, although powerful, still heavily depends on human supervision. Gradually, companies began to notice that reducing teams was not generating the expected results, but instead creating new problems, more complex and costly.
And that's probably because they were mindlessly using the AI to just go ahead and do this, and then they're like, oh cool, they just deploy it instead of actually going through the code and instructing the AI to code after its own heart, after like the actual human's heart. Like, here's how I code, and build it that way, and then having a testing protocol in place. A lot of people, they just prompt and pray. You do not want to prompt on a prayer.
To solve.
The study suggests that the return on AI coding, it may be more uneven, less immediate than investors have priced in.
While AI proved to be extremely efficient at generating code quickly, the truth is that it also began producing large volumes of code that required constant correction. Recent studies have shown that AI-generated code contain up to 1.7 times more errors than code written by humans. This has forced companies to spend more time reviewing and fixing these issues. Additionally, massive code generation has caused companies to have up to 38% more code to maintain, increasing system complexity. The problem is that software development is no longer what it used to be, because now the challenge is no longer writing code, but maintaining it, optimizing it, and fixing it. A relevant fact is that 61% of companies that adopted AI tools for programming increased their hiring of senior developers in 2026, mainly to review AI-generated code.
Now some of those mid-level Google engineers are shaking free. This is your dream, so you just need to hold your hand up in this job environment if you're a former Google engineer, and you're going to get offers.
Another major problem is that artificial intelligence generates code without understanding business context. According to Gartner, more than 50% of errors in AI-generated code are related to a lack of business context understanding, not
And that's why you need seasoned engineers who, because here's what happens a lot of times, right? You have engineers who like they are very adversarial to AI instead of embracing actual tool, so that you can use your system understanding, you can use your expertise to guide the tool, just like an IDE. AI is just like another IDE, right? But you're guiding the tool, you're teaching it how to write the code the way that you want it to do it, but you get to go faster into ideating and test. And so that way you need to put in different models to be testing the application that's being built, so you make sure you catch everything.
Syntax or programming errors. AI can write functions, structures, and algorithms based on learned patterns, but it does not understand business objectives, technical constraints, or strategic decisions. This means that many times the generated code works in isolation, but fails when integrated into real systems. This has been notable, as a study by IBM found that 4 out of 10 development teams reported compatibility issues when integrating AI-generated code into existing infrastructures. As a result, human developers must intervene to adapt that code, fix errors, and optimize performance, increasing the need for experienced developers.
The tools, they're certainly being used. They're here. The payoff may just be more uneven than the hype suggests, and perhaps it plateaus at a certain point.
But perhaps the biggest problem with AI is that, unlike a human developer, AI cannot correct itself. When a developer makes a mistake, they can realize it in time. But when AI makes a mistake, it does not detect it unless you point it out. Researchers at Princeton University discovered that AI models failed to self-correct in more than 60% of cases, even when asked to review their own code. This has led companies like Google, Amazon, and Meta to begin reconsidering their initial strategy.
Companies are trying these tools. They're not always working, and so they're asking eventually.
Well, you see what my dear friend Deirdre said, is that company, like, she called it a tool because that's exactly what it is. It is a tool. So if you try to if you try to replace humans with just a tool, you're not having the actual tool user. So now the tool is it's free to go wild. And that's why if you have followed this channel for the past 2 years, I've always said I do not believe that AI is going to replace people. It's going to replace task-based people. But if you need a mind behind the artificial intelligence, you need humans to drive it, business context to be able to test it. AI is a great tool that can help you go really, really fast. But if there's not a human behind it, it's going to go really, really fast in the wrong direction.
Where's the value?
And experienced developers are aware of AI's limitations. Recent studies have indicated that up to 96% of developers do not fully trust AI-generated code. This has turned code supervision into one of their...
90% of developers don't trust fully AI developed code, but 90% of developers shouldn't trust human developed code. That's why I exist, because I am here to test it, and developers have this mindset. The code that I write is perfect. QA has a mindset. The code, none of the code that they wrote works, and then we normally meet in the middle. It's normally 50, 75, 25. It could be on either side as well.
Central tasks, leaving aside important tasks such as innovation. As a consequence, the real productivity of the few remaining developers began to decline. A GitHub study found that 49% of teams reported a decrease in real productivity, and ultimately, this translates into higher costs for companies.
Big tech now pouring more capital than ever into AI. Alphabet, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon expected to spend a combined $600 billion in CapEx. That's this year alone.
All these limitations of AI-generated code have created a bottleneck in development teams. As a result, companies have begun rehiring employees who were previously laid off. It is estimated that up to 4 out of 10 new hires are software developers who are former employees of companies that have laid them off after replacing them with AI. This phenomenon, known as boomerang hiring, is rapidly growing in the tech sector, as these professionals can integrate faster, understand internal systems, and detect complex errors that AI fails to identify.
I want you back. It's catchy tune. And it's also an increasingly popular hiring trend. It's what's called boomerang hire. 35% of new hires being made up of past employees.
While it is true that AI is replacing some software developer roles, these are mostly junior positions, since AI can replace the work of a novice developer, but not that of an experienced one. Basic programming tasks traditionally assigned to beginner developers can now be performed by AI tools. This has caused many companies to reduce junior hiring and increase demand for experienced developers. More than 54% of companies have indicated they plan to hire more senior developers while reducing junior positions, reflecting a structural shift in the tech industry.
Now this latest...
But that's also why I say, all right, going into this, you need to be very well versed in AI, very well versed in prompt engineering, because AI can do the code, but it needs that human to make sure that it has the context, it's creating properly, how to build ideas with it. And that's why, if you're like I said the other day, I was at an event, and someone's in their last year of college. They haven't done anything with AI. They haven't done anything with actual building any projects, any applications. While here, if you see what we do, in the past year, we have 10 different applications that we've built. We are very well versed with prompt engineering. We're very well versed with AI development, and building using AI to build applications. And this is what you should be doing as well. I always say, you got to put in extra time if you want to be successful, if you want to win. But if you want to complain oh my God, the AI is taking the jobs. No, the AI is taking your job because you're not putting in the work. You're not learning how to use it. You're not learning how to use the tool that companies are begging you to learn how to use, because they want to go further. They want to go faster. But you are being that bottleneck. So all right, cool. We're gonna get rid of you. Because for junior developers, it's gonna be hard right now. But if you're trying to get development, you need to go and build some stuff. You need to go and build some stuff. Use AI to build it. Get your prompting game up, or you're going to suffer.
Data suggests that while it can help that group level up, it may actually be increasing reliance on senior talent, because someone still needs to debug, refine, and ship the final product.
The tech industry is beginning to recognize that artificial intelligence does not replace developers on its own. And this is reflected in recent hiring trends. For example, around 20% of the software engineers hired by Google in 2025 were former employees who were rehired. But this return is happening quietly, without major announcements, yet with a significant impact on the labor market. The developers being rehired are those with experience, capable of supervising artificial intelligence and improving generative generated code. This demonstrates that artificial intelligence is not at the level of an experienced developer. Sometimes it is simply used as an excuse to boost stock valuations and lay off workers.
At Economy Media, Europe.
So, turns out that Tekla Ralph was right. I've been saying this all along. Developers, you're needed. People can say, "Oh, is there?" I'm telling you, I was talking to somebody, and they said the person who was about to graduate, and they're like, "I don't even know if I want to stick to computer science because with AI, are we even needed?" I'm like, "You are needed. You are. Developers are needed. Developers are human people who build software. Whatever tool is placed into your hand, that's what you're going to use. If you can go faster, great." It's like the new industrial revolution for software development. But they want you to use the tool. If you fight against using the tool, they will find somebody who is willing to use the tool. You see that they're hiring developers back. They are hiring developers back. So you're needed. But you got to put in the work. You have to put in the work. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think this is real? That these major companies, and maybe small companies as well, that they're actually looking for real developers, even senior level developers, to control the AI? I will tell you, I see it myself, where they are encouraging developers. You know what? I take it back. I take it back. All right. They are not encouraging developers. They are mandating that developers use AI so they can go more. They're tracking, okay, how much of Claude are you using? How much of this are you using? Because they want you to build more and faster, but still at high level quality. Because you are not, like, a company cannot say, "Oh, AI did it." And that's why they need to put people in place to make sure that they are not damaging the company's reputation. However the code gets built, code at the end of the day is still code. And something I just, like, as I'm watching the video, I'm like, you know what? You can put into like, let's say a TDD framework, right? What is it like? So you build it, you test it to make sure that it's working, and then you refactor. So you write your test, then you build it. What is that terminology? TDD, assert, act, assert, and then something else. Act, assert. What is that? Arrange, act, and assert. And then TDD, refactoring, workflow. This is what I'm looking at real quick. So basically, red, green refactor cycle, right? You write a failing test, write a small test for a new requirement or feature, and watch it fail. This confirms that the test is valid. Then you make green, make it pass, and you refactor to improve the code. Now, go to Gemini. Now we can do faster this way, and I'm going to say, is there a way to use AI development tools such as Cursor, Claude Code, etc., to build in the traditional test-driven development methodology of red, green, refactor, and act, or is it arrange? Act, assert, to write clean, small code, right? So let's say you set up your AI coding agent to build this way. It should like make it, let me see. So to use AI development tools like Cursor or Claude Code for traditional test-driven development, you must pivot from generation mode, asking the AI to build a feature, to verification mode, asking the AI to prove the feature works. The key is to leverage the tool's ability to run terminal commands like npm test or pytest, and its awareness of your file structure to enforce red-green refactor cycle. The AI TDD workflow, modern AI agents perform best when they have a definition of done. In test-driven development, your test is that definition. Phase 1, red, define and fail. Instead of describing the feature, describe the behavior through a test. Prompt: I want to add a email validation. Use arrange, act, assert pattern to write a failing vi test in auth test. .ts. Do not write the implementation yet. Companies would hate this though. I'm going to tell you this. Companies would hate doing it this way. Once AI writes a test, use a terminal or ask the AI to run the test. It must fail. If the AI tries to hallucinate the implementation to make it pass, immediately stop it. Minimum code. There's got to, you know what? There's got to be a way to do this. I'm gonna do some more investigation on this. Maybe we'll use a Thursday night to figure this out. I don't like the way that this is going because it's like it's gonna be like a lot of token usage. So system instructions. This is the most effective way to keep AI from skipping steps. Add these rules. Always TDD. Never write implementation code before a failing test. So that means you can probably give it a whole thing to do and all right, make sure that it's writing it tested. Then maybe. I got to think about this. Maybe that'll be a live stream topic where we try to build an agent that writes in TDD, but it still like does a lot of it on its own instead of us having to like prompt each step. So something to think about, but I'm with it. That is what we do. That is what we do. Okay. Let me get to, we're going long today. Let me get to the chat and we will, let me see, because the chat, and then we're going to get to our last segment, right? So, Max says, and would you go back knowing the possibility of them letting you go again due to them being fickle? Absolutely. Depends on the company, but absolutely. Like, because if you're not working somewhere else yet, then why not? It's just business. At the end of the day, like fickle or not fickle, it's just business. If you're not working somewhere else yet, who's like paying you better, if you say you're still looking and the company says we want you back, maybe come back, right? I'm going back. Like, it's just like fickle, not fickle. I am not emotional towards any entity, any corporation, any CEO, except for Jensen Huang. I love Jensen Huang, but that's a whole nother story. But I don't care. Like, is you paying or what?
More money, more money, more money.
Is you paying or what? Drew says, that's why it's good to know how to code. See, exactly. Like being able to understand what's happening, it's a total game changer. Meg says, remember when I said Gemini corrected itself when it was walking me through the inspecting? Yeah, I do remember that. So it's sometimes it gets it totally wrong, but sometimes I'll say for the most times it gets it pretty good. Perfect time to negotiate salary. Then the price of the brick just went up.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Facts. You are 100% correct. All right, we're going to jump into our last working segment of tonight. Let's get to it. So we're going to go and jump into trying to see if it actually made our splash screen bigger. I don't know, but let's find out.
It's time to do.
All right, so let's go and say, so for my last prompt, Flutter launch icons and run a Flutter native splash screen. Let's go ahead and run that. We did not get to, but image 12 is not a valid. Okay, so get it out then. All right, that's fair. Let's see. So Gemini. Oh, okay. So it's like this. All right. So it's gonna be like this. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and stop this, and let's go ahead and run tell that. Let's see. It's bigger. It is bigger. Oh, why did it change that one? I didn't want to change that one. Oh, I didn't want to change that one. Let's see how this one looks. See, this is good. That's good. But I didn't want to change the icon on the... okay, so we will say, if we go to this one, I wanted to keep using this one. Because that one looks better on... this page than the other, right? So let's say we do, there we go, much better, much better. So if we stop this and we run it again, now we're cooking. Except for the, it's still kind of small, to be fair. It is still kind of small on that splash page, but, and the color didn't change, which, annoying, but whatever. Oh, it's annoying. It's gonna have to be what it's gonna have to be. All right, I've done all that I could do. I've done all that I could do for this. So we're just gonna leave it as is. Let's go ahead and let's build it for. Let me push up. Let me bump up the number as well. Let's go to let's go to say speak precisely AI. And the following lines we wish to publish to the pub dev. Speech coaching. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Can we? All right, I'm doing no task for that one though. Let's say. Oh wait, there's something here. There's something here. I thought it ran already. All right, well, maybe not. Let's see if that happens. Let's go to stop it again. Something must have happened. I did not want the login page to use that, but you did what you wanted to do. Fair. I change it back. Ooh, oh, hey. Why did it chop it off like that? So this one is good. This one is good. Oh, why did it chop it off that way? Oh, wasn't expecting that. Is it even bigger? Oh, that disgusts me. I have to go back to it. Oh, I don't like that. Why did you cut off my image like that? Let me see. Something isn't right with it. We'll figure that out later. Whatever. I'm just gonna go ahead and build it. That's annoying. Let's do Flutter. Oh yeah, I was going to. Oh, and I remember what I was gonna do. Let's do start a new task. Can you update the title that shows up in the App Store as speak precisely AI, and add a description to the pubspec.yaml file so we can build it. Because I don't think this is supposed to be called app, that's why. I don't think that's supposed to be called app. Yes, that's it. Kept it as app. I don't know if that's right. What does the name field, or let's say Y, name field in the pub spec.yaml say app? Let's see what that one represents. Okay, I guess. You're absolutely right to catch that. The name field in the pub spec was originally app because that was the default name Flutter assigned when the project was created, which is used for all internal Dart imports. I have updated the package name in pub spec to speak precisely and successfully refactored all internal Dart imports. All right, so I'm going to do a stop. I'm going to run it again just to make sure that that didn't break anything. But this is the part that I would like, the video that we just watched was mentioning of you need those senior engineers, those senior QAs to make sure that it is actually catching this little stuff. All right, so we're good here. Login is, that doesn't matter. That should work anyways. Let's go ahead and go here. Here's the Flutter build app bundle. I keep forgetting to bump up the version number. Where is the version? So let's do 4.5 app bundle CD app Flutter build app bundle. And while that's happening, I'm going to go and stop this. And I am going to shut this down. I am going to see if I can get a iOS emulator up and running. Here goes our iOS emulator, or simulator they call it. And I am going to say, run it on an iOS simulator. And while that's happening, I'm going to go log into Play Console so I can upload the latest version of this app that we'll have in testing mode. All right, so that's built. And let's take a look at if this is running over here. Not yet. Was there an error? So, all right. So let's upload to here. The release overview. Let's say I got a new release. Internal testing, create new track, upload. Yeah. Let's go to get the build, go to app, go to outputs. Okay. No. Where's the app bundle? Bundle, that's what it's called. Build. App. Output. Refresh. There we go. Drag that over to here. All right, cool. And I'm gonna ask, can you give me some release notes for Android under 500 characters? All right. Let's go to, all right. So waiting for Android to pick up this bundle. And we're going to say over here. So we got over here. Go cancel. Let's go. All right, that's cool. Why don't we change the icon over here? Do that after. Let's say save and publish. So hopefully I'll be able to access this on my phone later today. But there we go. Internal testing. Available to internal testers. Sweet. Cool. All right. Well, we will work on this. So I'll try this later on. So let's go back over here. Let's see. Let's move on into our testing on the iOS part of it. Let's see if we got an error. The plugin requires a higher minimum iOS deployment version than your application is targeting. To build, increase your application deployment target to at least 13. Okay. Let's say we copy this error. Where do I have 12? Let me see. 12.0. Butter pod spec audio session. This looks like it's in a few different spots. So we're going to see if it can globally update this for us. I thought we had it. I guess we never tested it on iOS. When launching app on iOS simulator, we are getting this error. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Pod install. Let's do that. Move the podlock file. Who is this guy over here? What up, Jay Ben? What up, my guy? Shout out to Jay Ben. Fixed error by updating the app iOS pod file. I uncommented the iOS version and bumped it up to 13. I also removed the pod lock to ensure Flutter does a clean. All right, cool. There's a clean pod install next time you launch your simulator. All right, cool. Next time you launch your simulator. Let me try to run it again, see what happens. Do we have to close down the whole simulator? The whole thing? I don't think so. It says running pod install now, so it should be all right. Let's see. Let's see if we're going to get it started. We got 3 minutes to go. My computer's working, but we still have a good frame rate, so I'm good. You can do it. Almost there. I'm looking at this right here. Because then we, so like, once we get the Android set, then we still need to, go through the whole process of setting up the pricing for at least we know how to do it now, but we have to go into Revenue Cat for iOS. Oops, you see how much bigger, how much bigger it puts it for, God, I wonder if that was the same way with the time cost calculator. Gotta think about that. I don't know, but let me see. Tech coach Ralph@gmail.com. All right, let me see if I go and I log into here. We're in business. We are in business. So let's try it out. Let's see if we say start new session. Allow microphone. Are you able to hear me on the iOS mobile emulator, or because it says it's totally flat right now, so I don't think you're able to hear me. So let me stop that. You can hear me. So the question is, device, can we enable the microphone on the Android or on the iOS emulator or simulator? Device, input, output, audio input. Well, it says it can get it. It's right here, audio output here. Why didn't you get my microphone though? See, we didn't have this on Android. There's no sound. Discard. Why aren't you taking my input when I'm clearly speaking? And you should have the input of the mic. I wonder why. That's strange. Next week, we'll do a little bit of research to see if on iOS that's happening because of it's a simulator. Let's see something real quick. If we go to, I don't even know how to use is there a recorder app on iPhones? Recorder. Voice notes, voice control, voiceover. Cancel notes. What? I really don't. Apple is, I don't know how you guys are so in love with Apple. I just wanted a voice recorder. Well, that's all she wrote. That is all she wrote for today. We did good though. We got our app in and we got our branding done for the most part. I'm still not happy with that one screen for Google, but whatever. I'll figure it out later. It's not the most critical thing in the world. I think it's more important that we start getting into Apple, start getting ready to deploy. But we got our branding done. We have our icons up there. We have the app in the Google Play Store for internal testing. And we were able to get the app to load up on the iOS simulator. So we'll find out if we're going to be able to actually be able to test it on the iOS simulator, or if we're going to need to get a real device. Maybe I can use my iPad to do some testing on it. I don't know. We shall figure it out, but that's where we're at. That is where we're at. I am super, super excited. Super excited. All right. Let me check the chat to wrap up the show, and then we will be back here tomorrow. Let me see. We got my guy, J Ben, in the building. What up, J Ben? How have you been? Keep up the amazing, amazing work. Shout out to my guy, J Ben. Magnus is like, what is going on here? And it says, get me out of here.
Bruh. Ain't believing us.
It says, Sith Coach Ralph, please have security on standby. What? What's wrong with J Ben? Oh, come on. Shout out to my guy. And Junior says, great show as usual. Thank you so much, Junior. Well, that is it for today. We did some amazing work. So shout out to every last one of you guys for hanging out with me and watching how I navigate through this, how I investigate for our break time topics as we research. Look. Those White Castle vending machines. And if it's good, I might have to put one in the living room. I might have to put one in the living room. I'm just saying.
Do not come.
I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm kidding. I would not put one in the living room. Maybe on the maybe on the patio. But not in the living room, right? That is uncouth. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Tomorrow, Candid Conversations, gonna drop that noon. Check it out. We're gonna be back live here on Tuesday, and then the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we do our thing, right? So I will see you then. You guys have an amazing rest of your day. Do me a favor though on your way out. If you haven't done so already, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content, as well. Tech Coach the Dev, where all the magic happens. Our AI meetups, talking about how we are developing products, ideas, having deep conversations about how to be the most successful in this tech stuff. All right. That is everything. Until next time, let's continue to win. All right. Tech Coach Ralph, we are out.
The last time you're going to see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you.
Long day. Put the car in drive. We left it all out there today. Mind right. Tomorrow we do it again. Yeah. Riding down the highway, street lights passing by. I had to empty out the mind, just looking at the sky. Clear it out. Yeah. I kept my honor clean, no dishonest thought today. Walking with integrity, I'm staying on the way. The muscles aching heavy, but the way is in the training. I put the hours in, whether shining or it's raining. I studied every art, I'm refusing to be boxed in.
No boxes.
No boxes. I lock the ego out, and I let the wisdom walk in. I'm chilling in the lane, got the cruise control set. I gave it everything I had, I'm leaving no regret.
Ooh. Riding on the late night, shadows on the dash. Leave the world behind you, let the heavy moments pass. But keep the spirit sharp, yeah, we never lose the flame. Resting for tomorrow, just to dominate the game. 5 rings in the mind.
Keeping everything aligned.
Keep it alive.
Keep it aligned. Yeah, yeah. I look at the horizon, I'm taking in the view. I learn from all professions to see what they go through. Broaden scope. I measure up the day, distinguish gain and loss. Did I really make a profit, or did I pay the cost? Calculate. I cultivate the judgment, I trust the intuition. My gut is navigating on this late night mission. I'm seeing the unseen, looking way beyond the obvious. The energy is quiet, but the discipline is dominant. I'm riding to the house, but I'm staying hyper aware. The breeze is blowing in through the midnight air.
Riding on the late night, shadows on the dash. Leave the world behind you, let the heavy moments pass. But keep the spirit sharp, yeah, we never lose the flame. Resting for tomorrow, just to dominate the game. 5 rings in the mind.
Yeah. Keeping everything alive.
Keep it alive.
Keep it alive. Yeah, yeah. I pull up to the driveway, I cut the engine off. The world is going hard, but I'm never going soft. I pay attention to the trifles, the details in the dark. A tiny micro movement leaves a monumental mark. Every detail, I did nothing useless. I cut away the waste, cut it. I move with a deliberate and calculated pace. From the water to the fire, the earth, the wind, the void. I built the foundation that can never be destroyed. Now I lay the body down and I let the muscles heal. Tomorrow's sun is rising and I'm coming back with steel.
Riding on the late night, shadows on the dash. Leave the world behind you, let the heavy moments pass. But keep the spirit sharp, yeah, we never lose the flame. Resting for tomorrow, just to dominate the game. 5 rings in the mind.
Keeping everything alive. Yeah.
Rest the mind.
Rest of mind. Reflect on the principles. Discipline never sleeps, it just recharges. Atlanta to the dojo, the 5 rings. We out.